Most people are extremely skeptical about all reports of UFOs and mystical phenomena, considering them a product of imagination or optical illusions. However, there are also those few among us who have personally encountered unexplained phenomena. It is precisely their testimonies that show that things beyond the limits of reality happen in our world far more often than we might think.
This is a long streak across the sky here.
In this video, I have prepared a compilation of the most fantastic phenomena and observations captured on camera in the year 2025. Enjoy watching.
Up there, the crown of thorns and one of his eyes and...
Residents of the Chinese city of Chongqing became witnesses to a striking phenomenon. Suddenly, the sky was enveloped in an unusually dense fog, and after some time, the outlines of a fantastic city with tall buildings and bridges began to emerge within it. Footage of this spectacle instantly appeared on social networks. Many users perceived the phenomenon as a divine message, while others saw the silhouettes of angels in the shadows. Scientists have not yet provided a definitive explanation, suggesting an optical illusion or a rare atmospheric phenomenon. On the 29th of October 2025, a Japanese amateur astronomer during his observations discovered an anomalous object beyond Earth's orbit. Using a modern telescope, he saw a gigantic structure shimmering with hundreds of multicolored lights. After recording a video, the researcher posted it online with the assumption of an extraterrestrial origin of the object. Specialists from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency suggested that the astronomer might have observed 3I Atlas, an interstellar object with comet-like properties. However, this hypothesis did not calm the public, since users have long associated this comet with the arrival of aliens. On the 13th of December, a New York photographer named Mark Stevenson made a recording that became the subject of active discussion. The footage shows colossal shadowy silhouettes periodically appearing in the night sky behind the Statue of Liberty. The video, published on social networks, gained millions of views. Users proposed explanations ranging from projections of a laser show to paranormal phenomena. One commenter suggested that the shadows could have appeared due to reflections from the statue's illumination, but this explanation was flawed, since optical effects usually manifest on surfaces rather than in the air. A truck driver from the state of Delaware, traveling toward New York, recorded an unexplained phenomenon on camera during a sudden storm. The footage shows 3 metallic spheres frozen high in the sky, forming a perfect equilateral triangle. Interestingly, despite strong winds, the objects remained motionless, as if suspended on invisible cables. According to the eyewitness, the spheres remained in the sky for 15 minutes, after which they disappeared from view. Experts rejected the versions involving drones or weather balloons, emphasizing that such objects are not used in civilian or military aviation. The incident remains a mystery. In March 2025, an anonymous video appeared online, causing a public stir. The footage shows a dense cluster of clouds with a distinct circular opening formed at its center, resembling a funnel. Inside this peculiar portal, shimmering highlights were visible, creating an illusion of depth. It looked very strange and unsettling. Many people compared this anomaly to scenes from a science fiction film. However, scientists believe it to be a rare type of lenticular cloud that forms in mountainous regions. On the 6th of October 2025, a car driver near Los Angeles witnessed an anomalous atmospheric phenomenon. Pulling over to the roadside, he recorded an unusual cloud on camera. It had a dense mass, and inside it, there was strange movement resembling boiling. As the phenomenon developed, the structure began to fragment, forming several pearlescent formations with an iridescent sheen, which is completely uncharacteristic of ordinary clouds. On social networks, theories about the influence of the HAARP program immediately emerged, which is allegedly capable of manipulating the ionosphere. However, scientists refuted this hypothesis and promised to determine the origin of the anomaly. On the 12th of November 2025, residents of the Brazilian cities of Belo Horizonte, Vitória, and Juiz de Fora observed a phenomenon that puzzled local meteorologists. A dense ring of black smoke suddenly formed around the solar disk and within seconds spread across the entire sky, creating the effect of an artificial eclipse. At the same time, astronomical data confirmed the absence of any real eclipse. Official services explained the phenomenon as emissions from industrial enterprises, but many witnesses insist that the smoke had a strange structure and moved against the wind. What happened that day remains a mystery. In January 2025, a mysterious event occurred in one of the Argentine provinces. Local residents recorded two spherical cloud structures connected by a cloud bridge, resembling a giant dumbbell in shape. The formations slowly rotated around a common axis, periodically emitting a hum that was captured on video. Argentina's meteorological service was unable to provide a definitive explanation, suggesting only a rare atmospheric phenomenon. However, skeptics point to the anomalous symmetry of the objects and their purposeful movement, which is uncharacteristic of natural phenomena. On the 8th of July 2025, residents of the Canadian provinces of British Columbia and Alberta became witnesses to a fantastic phenomenon. In the clear sky, a gigantic glowing structure began to form, continuously expanding and creating the illusion of stretching space. After 20 minutes, the object transformed into a multi-ring construction, shimmering with different colors. And although some social media users suspected editing, more than 300 independent witnesses confirmed the observation in real time. On the 15th of November 2025, a resident of the city of Bakersfield in the state of California captured a formation of dozens of dark rectangular objects in the sky. They looked like metallic fragments of some flying apparatus, yet they moved strictly in a straight line, maintaining equal distance from one another. According to the eyewitness, when he first noticed the anomaly from afar, he assumed they were Starlink satellites. However, after observing the objects more closely, he rejected this version since they were flying at an altitude of no more than 500 meters, had an elongated shape, and produced no sound. Despite the fact that the video was published online, the objects were never identified. In August 2025, a fantastic show took place in the night sky over Florida, which no one has been able to explain to this day. Eyewitnesses recorded the appearance of a glowing object of an unusual shape, with no analogues among known aircraft. After several minutes, dozens of small glowing spheres appeared around it, demonstrating complex behavior. They moved chaotically around the object, and at times lined up in a straight line or formed a circle. During this incident, several witnesses reported malfunctions in electronic devices. Smartphones and onboard computers in cars temporarily lost functionality. Despite public inquiries, authorities refrained from commenting, leaving the incident among the main unsolved mysteries of the year. In February 2025, a group of cyclists in the Argentine city of Mendoza encountered an anomalous phenomenon. At an altitude of several hundred meters above the horizon, two bright red objects appeared, emitting a pulsating light. Their movement was completely silent, and the synchrony of the pulsations ruled out the possibility of stars or drones. Some even suggested that they could have been red sprites, but that phenomenon lasts only a brief instant, whereas the event in the sky over the city was observed for 50 seconds, after which the objects vanished instantly, without any gradual fading. Local authorities provided no explanation, leaving eyewitnesses to speculate about what they had seen. In January 2025, a video appeared online showing a very strange figure flying high above the clouds. The object had anthropomorphic outlines, a head, shoulders, and several protrusions resembling limbs, yet it moved without the maneuvers typical of birds or drones. Ufologists suggested that it could be a biological organism or a remotely controlled device of extraterrestrial origin, but official science has so far offered no comments. In June 2025, the sky over the Indonesian province of Riau suddenly turned a deep purple color. The phenomenon created the effect of an alien sunrise. Hundreds of people went outside to capture the anomaly, after which videos of the purple sky spread rapidly across social networks. It should be noted that at first people were frightened by the phenomenon and even spoke of a technological disaster. Later, however, scientists from the Indonesian Meteorological Agency explained it as a combination of factors. According to them, after a powerful thunderstorm, microparticles formed in the upper layers of the atmosphere, which at a certain angle of sunlight caused interference between red and blue waves, giving the sky its fantastical purple hue. These images were recorded in October 2025 by a resident of the state of Oklahoma. According to the woman, she looked out the window and saw hundreds of glowing sparks raining down from the sky over a forested area, accompanied by a characteristic crackling sound upon contact with the ground. She also noted that the effect resembled a daytime fireworks display, but without any signs of a pyrotechnic launch. After the video was published online, many users suggested that it could have been a release of white phosphorus, a substance that ignites upon contact with air. However, it remains unclear who would have needed to do this. A truck driver traveling along a highway near the city of Mesquite, in the state of Texas, shared a video of a striking natural phenomenon. At first, he mistook a gigantic dark formation in the sky for a storm cloud, but as he approached it, he realized that it was a massive flock of birds. The avian swarm formed bizarre shapes and created an unsettling post-apocalyptic atmosphere. The eyewitness noted that the birds circled over the same area for more than an hour. Ornithologists have not yet been able to explain the reason for such behavior. Neither seasonal migration nor reactions to predators account for this unusual conduct of the birds. On the 22nd of March 2025, a video appeared online, filmed by an unknown observer in the suburbs of Denver in the state of Colorado. The footage shows 4 spherical objects with a distinctive purple glow surrounding them. The rings of these objects rotated at a constant speed without any sound effects. Their trajectory resembled a slow dance. It felt like a true light show, except that whoever was responsible had simply forgotten to turn on the music. And although this phenomenon goes beyond the boundaries of earthly reality and people awaited an answer as to what it was, scientists were unable to explain it. On the 12th of September 2025, an amateur photographer from Colorado captured a rare atmospheric phenomenon on camera. The footage shows a cloud pattern strikingly resembling the skeleton of a giant creature. The central cloud stretched into a line, imitating a spine, while the side formations created the illusion of ribs. According to the eyewitness, the structure maintained its position and shape for more than 40 minutes, after which it began to gradually dissipate. Meteorologists became interested in the phenomenon. They explained the anomaly as a combination of air currents and temperature gradients forming complex condensation patterns. And although such cloud formations are an extremely rare sight, they do occasionally occur, inspiring genuine awe among those who witness them. On the 12th of May, residents of Alaska witnessed a mysterious phenomenon. 3 glowing spheres with a bluish hue appeared in the sky, moving silently and smoothly. Their glow was intense, and their flight paths differed from those of airplanes or satellites. According to eyewitnesses, while observing the spheres, it seemed as if they were hovering above the ground and changing direction with incredible smoothness. No earthly aircraft is capable of such graceful movement, which is why the news about the spheres sparked numerous rumors that the residents of Alaska had witnessed the appearance of alien spacecraft. This video, filmed quite recently in Sacramento in the state of California, instantly went viral. The footage captures a fantastic phenomenon, a dark grey cloud with a perfectly round orange formation inside it. The object resembled a blazing portal. Its edges pulsated, creating the illusion of tongues of flame, while the circle itself remained completely motionless. Local residents and online users called the phenomenon fiery gates, or even gates to hell. Meteorologists attempted to explain the anomaly from a scientific perspective. In their opinion, it could have been a rare type of lenticular cloud illuminated by the setting sun. However, everyone who watched the video understands that it was something entirely different and could not have been a natural phenomenon. Two similar optical phenomena occurred in the night sky over California and were recorded by independent witnesses. One of them took place on the 10th of July 2025. On that day, a distinct rainbow-colored band appeared in the sky, stretching upward. A month later, a video surfaced online showing a similar phenomenon, but this time, it resembled the northern lights with shimmering waves of light. According to eyewitnesses, both phenomena looked like a road to the heavens. Scientists attempted to explain what happened and proposed several theories. The rainbow bridges could have formed as a result of light refraction in high-altitude clouds, or they might have been optical illusions caused by ground-based light sources. However, none of these theories fully explains the geometric clarity of the first phenomenon and the dynamic nature of the second. Late in the evening on the 14th of May 2025, residents of Kansas City observed a slowly descending object that glowed as if it were engulfed in flames. Its movement was surprisingly smooth. It seemed to have minimal mass or to obey different laws of physics. After some time, it fell in an unknown location, leaving no traces of fire. One of the eyewitnesses recorded the anomaly on camera and posted it online. Users suggested several explanations for the phenomenon, including a Chinese lantern, a meteor, and an alien spacecraft. However, what it actually was remains a mystery. On the 22nd of June 2025, the author of a video noticed something inexplicable in the sky. It was an object flying over mountainous forests whose shape was difficult to describe because it was constantly changing. This UFO had no known analogues among existing aircraft. The eyewitness noted that the object resembled neither an airplane, nor a drone, nor a meteorite. Some viewers who watched the video even compared it to a ghost. What it truly was remains a matter of speculation. On the 11th of October 2025, residents of New York witnessed a rare phenomenon. Two luminaries appeared in the sky. Eyewitnesses captured the anomaly on video. The footage clearly shows a second sun, and the movement of the lens flare confirms that the duplicate sun was real and also remained motionless. Scientists explained the phenomenon as a rare optical effect, a halo caused by the refraction of light in ice crystals in the upper layers of the atmosphere. Usually, halos form circles or arcs, but in exceptional cases, they can create false suns, also known as parhelia. Despite the scientific explanation, the spectacle deeply impressed city residents. Some perceived it as a sign of impending change. This video was filmed on the 19th of March 2025. You might think that it happened in Australia, where a huge number of insects can indeed be found in a small area, but in reality these scenes are from Brazil. On that day, local residents witnessed an unusual sight. Thousands of tiny spiders gently descended from the sky like weightless parachutists. It was a true nightmare for arachnophobes. Experts explain that this phenomenon is associated with ballooning, a method of dispersal used by young spiders. They release silk threads that are carried by the wind, transporting them to new territories. However, such a massive concentration occurs extremely rarely. An event that many considered supernatural occurred in the sky above a Brazilian airport. Near the airport, an eyewitness recorded a glowing cross on camera. It illuminated the night sky almost like the moon and retained its shape for 12 minutes of observation. What made this story particularly interesting was that shortly before this event, 2 airplanes at the same airport had been grounded due to technical malfunctions. Since the problems were detected in time and no one was injured, many Brazilians who watched the video interpreted the heavenly cross as a divine sign. Even more intriguing was the fact that 2 weeks later, a video of a similar phenomenon appeared online, but this time the cross was observed in Alaska. To this day, it remains a mystery whether this was a coincidence or whether there is some hidden meaning behind the heavenly crosses. On the night of the 17th of September 2025, an unusual spectacle occurred in the sky over Arkansas. Eyewitnesses noticed a strange glowing object that traveled a significant distance and then suddenly disintegrated in the air, leaving behind a long, luminous trail. Based on video footage and eyewitness descriptions, experts proposed several hypotheses to explain the nature of the phenomenon. According to them, it could have been a meteor that completely disintegrated in the atmosphere while leaving a clear trail. Another version suggests that residents of Arkansas may have witnessed a failed test of a new aircraft. Unfortunately, official services did not confirm any of the hypotheses, so the video continues to spark debate online. On the 3rd of July 2025, residents of the Indonesian island of Nusa Penida encountered an alarming phenomenon. Dark clumps resembling clouds suddenly began to fall from the sky. They covered rice fields, rooftops, and surrounding areas. In a video recorded by one of the eyewitnesses, it is visible that the objects have a porous structure and are practically weightless. In addition, local residents noted that these structures had a faint chemical odor. During the investigation, it became clear that these objects were industrial waste that had risen into the atmosphere and later descended onto populated areas. Experts warn that such phenomena are extremely dangerous. They can not only contaminate soil and water sources, but also cause various illnesses among the population. In March of this year, a video appeared online that left viewers shocked and amazed. The author captured unusual clouds that formed into a gigantic face in profile, looking upward. The clouds aligned with astonishing precision. The figure clearly shows an eye, a nose, and even a mouth. It seemed as if the sky itself had become an artist, creating a portrait that silently watched the world below. Scientists explain the phenomenon as a random interplay of wind and humidity, but many viewers see something far more significant in it. On the 14th of June 2025, a resident of one of the cities in Chile witnessed an incredible sight. Before his eyes, a cloud appeared in the sky that stood out from the others because it had the shape of an angelic figure with wings shaped like a heart. At first, the object hovered motionless in the air, and then it began to rotate slowly. Users who watched the video immediately noted that no bird is capable of remaining in one place for so long while rotating in such a manner. At the same time, ordinary clouds are also incapable of performing such movements. Even scientists were unable to answer the question of what this phenomenon actually was. On the 2nd of September 2015, a mysterious video spread across the internet, the origin of which remains unknown. The footage shows a scene that many might mistake for a moment from a science fiction film. High above the clouds, as if outside space and time, a figure hovered motionless, resembling a human wearing something like a high-tech spacesuit. The figure did not move and made no sound. It simply observed the world below in silence, as if fulfilling the role of a celestial guardian. Viewers attempted to find an explanation for the phenomenon. Some saw it as an extraterrestrial being, while others considered it a product of digital imagination. However, none of the versions were confirmed. Experts found no signs of editing, and official agencies have remained silent. On the 9th of August 2025, an event occurred in Sequoia National Park in the state of California that is difficult to explain from a scientific standpoint. An eyewitness recorded a small figure that silently glided above the crowns of the sequoia trees. The witness said that while observing it, he felt as though he was watching the dance of a ghost. The object did not flap wings and did not use any visible engines, yet it moved smoothly, ignoring gusts of wind. Users who watched the video were divided in their opinions about what or who the object could actually be. Some see it as evidence of unknown life forms, while others believe it to be an optical illusion created by the play of light and shadow. A couple of months ago, a video appeared online showing an unexplained change on the surface of the moon. In the lower corner of the celestial body, a clear line appeared, as if part of the satellite had been neatly cut off by an invisible blade. As the event unfolded, the boundary slowly shifted until it gradually dissolved. After the video was published, users began sharing conflicting theories. Some insisted it was a rare optical illusion caused by atmospheric distortions. At the same time, supporters of conspiracy theories suggested that the moon is not a natural space object, but an artificial structure that had malfunctioned. On the 22nd of November 2025, a group of scientists conducting research near rock pools in the Trevanance Cove in Cornwall, the United Kingdom, encountered an unexplained phenomenon. Strange glowing objects rose from the surface of the water and began moving through the sky, defying all known laws of aerodynamics. Their shape constantly changed. At times, they stretched into long ribbons, then compressed into compact spheres. Their movement was smooth, without sharp accelerations or turns. The scientists, accustomed to rational explanations, were shocked by what they saw, as no known natural phenomenon or technological device could demonstrate such behavior. Local residents, familiar with legends of water spirits, saw the incident as confirmation of ancient myths. Nevertheless, scientists still tend to favor hypotheses involving rare bioluminescent organisms. The author of the video, who decided to capture the evening sky on his smartphone camera, suddenly noticed a strange object there. Upon zooming in, it became clear that the surface of the sphere was pulsating with slow waves, as if it were a living creature breathing rhythmically. Then something even more astonishing happened. The mysterious object began to glow with a dim red light, started to thin out, and within a matter of seconds dissolved into the air. According to the eyewitness, the mystical sphere made no sound either during its appearance or its disappearance. What it was remains a matter of speculation. On the 22nd of March, in one of the Swiss cities, a gigantic, dense cloud appeared in the night sky and behaved in a very strange way. From the outside, it looked as though it was pulling itself into a depression at its center, resembling a rotating vortex. At the same time, flashes similar to blue lightning constantly appeared inside the cloud. Eyewitnesses were shocked by what they saw, as the natural phenomenon looked like a scene from a science fiction movie. Even more mystery was added by the fact that meteorologists were unable to provide a rational explanation for what had occurred. On the 15th of July, a video appeared online that made viewers question the reality of what they were seeing. The footage shows a massive cloud formation stretching from the ground to great heights. It resembled a tornado, yet the weather was calm and clear, which ruled out the possibility of such a natural phenomenon forming. The object itself looked unusual, but even stranger was the fact that something was noticed inside this column, slowly rising upward. The entire scene created the impression that a tunnel had formed in the sky, through which an unknown entity was gradually ascending into space. This incident became one of the main mysteries of the year. On the 22nd of August 2025, near the mountains of the Sierra Nevada range in the state of California, eyewitnesses observed what could be described as a divine phenomenon. A striking image formed in the sky, woven from clouds. It depicted an astonishingly realistic silhouette of Jesus Christ. His facial features, his serene expression, and most importantly, the glowing halo above his head indicated that this could not have been a mere coincidence. And although many scientists suggest that it could have been the result of a special interplay of light and clouds, all believers perceived the phenomenon as a sign from above. Residents of one of the cities in Brazil became witnesses to an unexplained celestial phenomenon. Before their eyes, a figure appeared above the clouds in which many unmistakably recognized the image of Christ. The clarity of the silhouette and its position in the sky caused a wave of emotions. People went out into the streets, prayed, and recorded what was happening on their phones. Social networks literally exploded with photographs and videos of this astonishing phenomenon. Some saw it as a divine sign, while others considered it a rare atmospheric event that caused incredible awe. A resident of New York, looking up at the sky, was literally left speechless when he saw something incredible there. He was convinced that they were angels, so he recorded the anomaly on his smartphone. The footage indeed shows ordinary clouds drifting across the night sky, but above them were completely different figures with the outlines of angels with wings. They seemed to bow their heads, carefully observing what was happening in the city below. And although skeptics insisted that it was just an unusual cloud formation or a mirage, the eyewitness could not shake the feeling of an intense gaze from above. This video was shared online by a resident of Phoenix, Arizona. On the 12th of February, he witnessed an anomalous phenomenon in the sky. Instead of the familiar round or disc-shaped UFOs, he observed a gigantic object in the shape of a parallelogram. The object emitted a soft orange glow and moved smoothly across the sky without making any sound. The eyewitness noted that he had never seen anything like it before, and that this mysterious UFO did not resemble airplanes or drones. Ufologists have already taken an interest in the case, suggesting that it could be a new type of unidentified flying object. These impressive shots, filmed by an airplane passenger, look like a scene from a science fiction movie. They capture the powerful hurricane Melissa from above. On the 8th of March 2025, this storm reached Jamaica and Cuba, causing massive destruction. The elements damaged infrastructure, left thousands of people without electricity, and led to the evacuation of coastal areas. Meteorologists note that the hurricane became one of the strongest in the region in recent decades. On the 21st of August, a passenger on a city bus in Detroit witnessed an unusual phenomenon. In the clouds, he saw a frozen, dazzling white light. Next to the glow was a dark, perfectly shaped ring resembling a portal. The eyewitness managed to record a video that quickly spread online and caused a strong reaction. Some users confirmed that they had observed similar phenomena at night in other cities across the United States. Scientists have not yet provided an explanation, while ufologists associate it with paranormal activity. Quite recently, on the 6th of December, a video filmed by a resident of California appeared online. The footage shows a clear blue sky with an unusual crack. Inside it is absolute darkness, as if an abyss were visible through the sky itself. The author noted that the crack remained in place for several minutes and then gradually disappeared. The video sparked intense debate. Some users suggest an optical illusion, while others believe it could be a spatial anomaly. However, no official comments from meteorologists have yet been released. On the 4th of June 2025, an eyewitness recorded an unusual phenomenon. According to him, the sun initially looked completely normal, but then a sharp beam began to rise from its upper part. It froze in the form of a thin spike of light, without flickering or fading, maintaining its position. The observer noted that the beam remained visible for about 10 minutes, after which it disappeared without a trace. What it was remains a mystery. Residents of the state of Arizona witnessed an anomalous sky phenomenon that puzzled both locals and experts. Video recordings captured a large object glowing as if it were engulfed in flames. But that was not the only anomaly. Small glowing spheres appeared around the object. Their movement was sometimes chaotic, sometimes orderly, forming simple geometric shapes. Initial versions suggested signal flares or aircraft, but these were dismissed, as according to official sources, no air activity was recorded in the area that night. Researchers have not yet been able to offer a convincing explanation, and the videos continue to provoke heated discussions within ufological communities. During a thunderstorm in the mountains of Tibet, a researcher recorded a rare atmospheric phenomenon. Instead of ordinary lightning, bright red flashes appeared in the clouds, resembling the northern lights. They illuminated the horizon for fractions of a second, but were intense enough to attract attention. Experts suggest that these could have been red sprites, electrical discharges forming high above thunderclouds. Such phenomena are extremely rare. They are difficult to see with the naked eye, and capturing them on camera is even rarer. On the 25th of July 2025, in the Greektown area of Detroit, Michigan, a local resident witnessed an unusual phenomenon. In the sky, he noticed mysterious patterns resembling honeycombs. They appeared to be woven from the thinnest clouds. The patterns appeared for a fraction of a second, disappeared, and then appeared again. The eyewitness managed to film what was happening and posted the video online, hoping that someone could explain the nature of this phenomenon. However, no one was able to provide a rational explanation. A video is gaining popularity online, showing a night sky with dense clouds in front of the moon. What made this recording remarkable was that the clouds formed a perfectly even cross. The anomaly looked like a three-dimensional diorama, with dark clouds featuring a cross-shaped opening in the foreground and the moon with lighter clouds in the background. The phenomenon caused a strong reaction. Many perceived it as a mystical sign or an omen, since such geometrically precise shapes do not appear in the sky every day. However, some meteorologists suggest it could have been a rare interplay of light and cloud structures. On the 20th of July 2025, residents of Virginia observed one of the most spectacular and beautiful sky phenomena of the year. The footage shows multicolored shimmering lights appearing among the clouds, creating the effect of a magical light show. This phenomenon lasted for a considerable time, leaving locals wondering what might be hidden behind the clouds. Later, scientists explained the anomaly as a rare phenomenon related to the reflection of light from high-altitude clouds. However, eyewitnesses noted that the shimmering did not resemble typical atmospheric effects, as the colors changed smoothly and the glow seemed almost three-dimensional. This event has remained among the unresolved mysteries. A resident of California witnessed a truly mystical phenomenon. Just before the onset of a thunderstorm, an unusual object appeared in the sky as if it were woven from clouds. The reddish-pink silhouette resembled a three-dimensional sphere with intricate swirling edges. The object remained completely motionless, while storm clouds swirled and moved around it. After several minutes, the thunderclouds slowly began to advance toward the object. A couple of minutes later, the mysterious figure completely disappeared behind the clouds. Scientists suggested that the anomaly could have arisen as a result of light refraction in ice crystals. However, skeptics note that the object looked far too strange to have been created by nature. On the 3rd of March 2025, nature put on a true spectacle for those who were not afraid to go outside during a powerful thunderstorm. An eyewitness, armed with a camera, decided to capture the force of the storm. He was filming bright flashes when he suddenly became a witness to a real miracle. At one moment, the sky was split by an especially bright lightning bolt with many branches. And then, something incredible happened. One of the branches curved into the shape of a perfectly drawn heart. The clear lines and symmetrical curves created the impression that this was digital art rather than a natural phenomenon. Meteorologists explain that complex lightning shapes can occur due to irregularities in the electric field within clouds, but they admit that such a perfectly shaped heart is an exceptional rarity. On one of the February evenings, residents of several Canadian cities simultaneously witnessed an unexplained celestial show. Two glowing spheres appeared in the sky. One emitted a rich green light, the other a soft lilac glow. Their appearance was so synchronized that it immediately raised suspicions that it was not a coincidence. The spheres moved in an unusual manner, violating all the familiar laws of atmospheric motion. At times, they smoothly descended into dense clouds, then reappeared above them as if playing hide and seek. Their trajectories did not resemble the flight of airplanes or drones. The synchronization of observations in different cities intensified the intrigue, and meteorologists became interested in the anomaly. They suggested that it could have been rare optical effects caused by the refraction of light in atmospheric layers. However, supporters of conspiracy theories are convinced that the spheres had an extraterrestrial origin. On the 6th of January of this year, the sky over New Jersey turned into a stage for a light show. One local resident noticed a solitary glowing object, which he mistook for a falling star. But when he turned on his camera, several more spheres appeared in the sky. These objects moved in a completely unpredictable manner. At times, they sharply descended, then shot upward, then spun in an intricate dance. The author of the video emphasizes that the spheres changed speed and direction instantly, without smooth acceleration or deceleration. In addition, they did not dissipate in the air, but retained clear outlines even at great altitude. Local authorities did not confirm any flights in the area, and airports did not record any unidentified objects on radar. This only intensified interest in the video and the incident. On Valentine's Day, nature gave the residents of one of the cities of Croatia a truly unusual gift. A bright blue beam emerged from the clouds in the sky. Dozens of people went outside to observe the astonishing phenomenon. Some of them captured what was happening on camera and posted the videos online. The reaction online was immediate. Some users saw the phenomenon as a sign of love sent from above. Others mistook it for a beam from a spacecraft hidden behind the clouds. However, skeptics still believe that it was a prearranged laser show. On the night of the 24th of March, residents of many European countries witnessed an unusual phenomenon. A mysterious blue spiral suddenly appeared in the sky. People began posting photographs and videos online, demanding explanations. For a long time, the cause of the phenomenon remained a mystery, but later it turned out that the spiral appeared after the launch of a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from the SLC-40 launch complex. During the insertion of the payload into orbit, spent stages formed a vortex structure of condensed fuel and water vapor. Under the influence of sunlight and high-altitude winds, it turned into a glowing blue spiral visible across thousands of kilometers. Representatives of SpaceX confirmed the time and location of the launch, which finally dispelled the mystical theories. However, the footage continues to spread online as an example of how modern technology can create celestial wonders. This video was recorded on the 9th of June 2025. The author captured the moment when two mysterious flashes appeared in the sky. They emerged instantly and rushed toward each other at incredible speed. At the moment of collision, A blinding light flashed and a roll of thunder was heard, after which everything fell silent. The most surprising thing was that on that night there was no thunderstorm either before or after the anomaly. The phenomenon appeared suddenly and disappeared just as suddenly. None of the online users who watched the video were able to explain this incident. On the 13th of August 2025, a video appeared online showing two round holes in the clouds, resembling the eyes of an unknown creature. The clouds around them looked perfectly smooth, as if someone had cut the holes with surgical precision. Similar phenomena have been recorded before. Each time, the holes appeared unnaturally symmetrical, as if created by an extraterrestrial force. Scientists explain these anomalies as the formation of so-called hole punch clouds. They occur when supercooled water droplets suddenly crystallize, leaving empty spaces. On the 3rd of February 2025, residents of the city of Snyder, Texas, witnessed an unexplained phenomenon. A sphere appeared in the sky, shimmering with all the colors of the rainbow. It had no constant shape. At times it stretched into an oval, then compressed, then took on strange outlines. Eyewitnesses noted that the object made no sound and left no contrails. Its glow was soft but intense and sufficiently bright. Meteorologists suggest that it could have been a rare type of atmospheric phenomenon caused by specific weather conditions, while ufologists see it as an unidentified flying object. One way or another, official explanations of the nature of this object have still not appeared. On the 27th of February, a woman, while standing in the yard of her home, noticed a semi-transparent object in the sky. It moved smoothly, without jerks. Visually, it resembled a cluster of barely visible smoky clouds. She recorded the phenomenon on video and published the footage online. In her post, she emphasized that the filming was done outdoors, which rules out reflections on glass or optical illusions. The object did not resemble a drone, a balloon, or an airplane. It had no lights, propellers, or clear contours. It moved slowly across the sky, changing its transparency while maintaining its overall shape. After 2 hours, it disappeared without a trace. Several neighbors confirmed the sighting, describing the object as a luminous haze. Attempts to find similar cases in UFO databases yielded no results. As a result, even ufologists cannot explain the nature of this phenomenon. And that brings me to the end. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell. Your activity is the greatest reward for me. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Goodbye.